Usually, when we think of billionaires, we imagine people who spend lavishly on luxury items like yachts, mansions, and designer clothes. But today, we're diving into the life of a billionaire who was the complete opposite. Hetty Green lived a life of extreme frugality despite her immense wealth. Join us as we explore the life of Hetty Green, a financial genius who made and managed a vast fortune while living as modestly as possible. Henrietta Howland Robinson, later known as Hetty Green, was born on November 21, 1834, in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Her father, Edward Mott Robinson, was a successful whaling merchant, and her mother, Abby Howland, came from a wealthy Quaker family. Hetty's upbringing was anything but typical for a girl of her time. By the age of 6, she was already reading financial newspapers to her father, sparking a lifelong interest in finance. Hetty's financial education continued throughout her childhood and adolescence. At the age of 15, she enrolled in a Quaker boarding school in Boston, where she honed her mathematical skills. Her father's influence was profound. He instilled in her the importance of financial independence and savvy investing. When her mother passed away in 1860, Hetty inherited $8 million, a staggering sum at the time which she wisely invested, growing her fortune substantially. After her father's death in 1865, Hetty inherited even more money, solidifying her place among America's wealthiest individuals. Unlike many women of her era, Hetty was actively involved in managing her investments. She had a keen eye for undervalued assets and a deep understanding of market trends. Her portfolio included real estate, railroads, and government bonds. Despite being incredibly rich, Hetty Green was very stingy. She lived in simple, cheap places, wore old clothes, and always tried to save every penny. Her frugality affected her family too. A well-known story tells how Hetty refused to pay for medical treatment for her son Ned when he hurt his leg, choosing free clinics instead. This decision eventually led to his leg being amputated because he didn't get proper care. Hetty's stinginess didn't stop there. She often moved from place to place to avoid paying high property taxes. She rented small, shabby apartments and even cooked oatmeal on the office radiator to save on food costs. Hetty wore the same old black dress every day, only replacing it when it was completely worn out. She was known to argue fiercely with shopkeepers over the smallest prices, insisting on getting the best deals possible. Even with her vast fortune, Hetty avoided spending money on luxuries or conveniences. She refused to pay for a proper office, instead conducting her business from the offices of her friends or using the spaces available at banks where she had dealings. Her penny-pinching ways were so extreme that she reportedly used to eat pies that cost only a few cents, believing that spending more on food was unnecessary. Hetty's frugality also extended to her charitable activities. While she did help her relatives and occasionally donated to causes, she often did so anonymously and in very calculated ways. She believed in financial independence and often gave advice instead of money, encouraging others to manage their finances as strictly as she did. These stories of extreme thriftiness made Hetty Green a legendary figure in her time, earning her nicknames like the Witch of Wall Street. Her lifestyle choices, driven by a mix of practicality and an obsession with saving money, made her one of the most fascinating and eccentric millionaires in history. However, Hetty's frugality did not mean she was without compassion. During the Panic of 1907, a severe financial crisis, Hetty stepped in to provide loans to New York City to help stabilize the economy. Her actions during this time showcased her financial acumen and her willingness to use her wealth for the greater good. Hetty Green's later years were marked by continued financial success and notoriety. She lived simply until her death on July 3, 1916, at the age of 81. At the time of her death, her estate was estimated to be worth over $100 million, equivalent to billions today. Hetty left her fortune to her 2 children, who continued her legacy of savvy investing. Hetty Green's impact on the financial world is undeniable. She broke gender barriers in an era when women were rarely seen in finance, proving that intelligence and determination could lead to success regardless of gender. Her frugal lifestyle, while often criticized, highlighted her disciplined approach to wealth management. Hetty's story remains a compelling example of the complexities of wealth, character, and legacy. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Hetty Green. Her story is a reminder that wealth comes in many forms and that the choices we make with our resources define our legacy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fascinating stories from history.